Do you think that Esmeralda and Quasimodo should have ended up together? Yes or no? Half of the movie crew, the movie club that was watching that night, were upset that they weren't together, and the other ones were very happy that they weren't together. So I'm really curious to see where the chat fits into that, and I want to talk about it because I do see that there are some of you that are still kind of like about that. You seem to be the minority right now, but like a 91% to 9. Quasi had a one-sided love. Yeah. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. This is what's super interesting to me about this. I'm going to throw my vote in here too because my vote counts. So, in this discussion, they were like, well, it's a Disney film. And when you have a Disney film, you want the guy, the protagonist always gets the girl. It's a Disney film. If it's a Disney princess, she always ends up with the prince. Like, that is the old school Disney formula. It's exactly that. But Hunchback was not like that at a time where every single Disney princess got a prince. Because the prince is hot. That is not true. That is not true. Have you seen the butterface that the Beast turns back into as a human being? That is not true. That man, turn it back. Turn it back. That man had butterface. She was better off before. Put it back on. Be a furry, Belle. Belle's a furry. Belle's a furry. I'll get into that in a minute. Belle's a furry. Put it back. Rewind it. Last thing I'm going to say to that before getting back to my earlier point, but if I were Belle, I'm not Belle. If I were Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and I was at the end of the film, and he tried to save my life and get into this dumb fight with Gaston and anything, first of all, I would have stuck with Gaston because he's more attractive. That's okay. Women don't know how to read. If I had to go with the Beast, if this was the situation... I'm about to get jumped on. And I saw Beast laying there, and I have been through this entire thing, and I see him, like, go up and do the magical girl thing and transform into a human being, and then did the what is it, scared gopher or whatever, and he's like, looks at her.
Hello, Pumpkin.
I would be the first lady to run into the other room with duct tape and start taping the petals back onto the damn stem. That would be me. I'd be like, go on. Oh my God, this, please. Like, I would be putting that thing back on. I would have entire rolls of Scotch tape and Gorilla Glue, and that would be stuck back under the glass permanently. Can I have that as a director's cut? That'd be great. Going back to my original point before I got off in that tirade. The reason that Esmeralda does not end up with Quasimodo is because you have to love yourself to love another person holistically. Quasimodo, when he falls in love with Esmeralda, he's not in love with Esmeralda. He's in love with the idea of Esmeralda. He's in love with the idea of being loved. That's the first woman that he's seen, and the first person that has been genuinely kind to him. So he sees Esmeralda, and he, in a very unhealthy way, puts her up on this pedestal to be worshipped. He looks at her and he sees light and perfection and everything that he isn't. And that's not a good way to love someone. When you love someone, you love them as an equal person to yourself. You don't take them and put them above you. During the film, that's what he does, because early in the film, he hasn't had his moment of character development yet. He is still being gaslit, he's still being manipulated, and he's still seeing himself as a lesser person because he's being told that he's a lesser person.
Hello?
So when he sees Esmeralda, he's still in a mental and emotional state of, I'm not good enough for her. And he even sings songs about this. That's the point of Heaven's Light. When he sings Heaven's Light, no face as hideous as my face was ever meant for Heaven's Light. He hasn't learned to love himself yet. And he's really upset when Phoebus starts to fall for Esmeralda, and Esmeralda starts to love Phoebus, because they are loving each other on equal ground. He loves her, and she loves him, and they're not putting each other above themselves. So that love is real. And as you go through the film, you see Quasimodo start to understand that the things that he's been told aren't true. That he is worthy of love. he goes through the entirety of the film and then learns to love himself. He overcomes the gaslighting and sees his self-worth and his self-value. He sees that Frollo is wrong and that Frollo hurts other people and has hurt him. And by the end of the film, he comes to realize, I am worthy of having the same love and affection as everybody else. It's not beneath me. I'm a person, and that's okay. So you see that development happening, and at the end of the film, that's when he takes Esmeralda's hand and Phoebus's hand, and he puts them together because he's grown as a person, and he understands himself that the love that I had for Esmeralda wasn't right. And that's a testament to that he accepts that, and he's moved on as a person, and he accepts that they love each other. And that's so good. That's so good. So the people that are upset that Quasimodo and Esmeralda didn't end up together, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Because if they had, he wouldn't have been a better person at the end of it. He would still be gaslighting, and he would still be in a position where he hated himself and that he saw her as this monumental achievement rather than as a person. That's my take on it. So these are the types of conversations that we have in Movie Club. But I was very interested to see that conversation pop up and not the obvious one about, you know, religion evil. You know, because that's, when it comes to Hunchback of Notre Dame, that's what you usually see, is you see talks about the religious aspects of things rather than the relationships that are occurring, you know? Frollo was an example of evil religion. He's an example of how corrupt and twisted people can get in power. Yes! And you see that happen too. You see that slow descent into madness. I thought Frollo's true love was Gaston. Baby, get in line! You know for a fact... Ow. You know for a fact that if I was a Disney girl, which I'm not, but if I was a Disney girl, I certainly am not going to be a Disney princess. I'm going to be a Disney villain. I'm going to be the cutest damn villain that they ever had, first of all. And second of all, my greatest love is Gaston. You know it? You know it. We are a perfect match for one another. We are perfect. A perfect match. He's hot and I'm hot. Perfect match. Can't fail. Those breakfast burritos in her fridge are for Gaston. You know it. Made with 5 dozen eggs. His personality is oof. Yeah, but I can look beyond that.